Hello everyone. Good evening and welcome back to our channel. My name is Amir Poonawala. I am a licensed immigration advisor for New Zealand and migration agent for Australia here at G.E.M.S International. Our office is based in Auckland, City of New Zealand. Please click the subscribe button and press the bell icon in the comment section of this video so you can get regular updates on various immigration related issues, matters, breaking news, and how to apply for different visas. Please also read our legal disclaimer provided in the comment section before watching this video. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the one-off resident visa 2021 that has come as a gift from the New Zealand government to around 165,000 temporary visa holders in New Zealand. Okay, so let's take a quick look at why this resident 2021 visa was launched and what are the objectives of the New Zealand government behind launching this visa category. So this was mainly to provide certainty for employers that the existing migrant workforce that is already working in New Zealand will be able to remain in New Zealand permanently and will be available to continue filling skilled or scarce roles in various industries, especially while the border restrictions are in place and have made it quite difficult to bring new migrant workforce into New Zealand. So this is the primary objective. Uh, the other objective that I can see here is that it was also to enable migrants who are in New Zealand for the purpose of work to remain here permanently. So this was like an opportunity given to them that if they wish, they can avail this opportunity and apply for this visa so they can make New Zealand as their new home. And provided they are well settled in New Zealand and are working in either skilled or scarce roles. So you must remember there are certain criteria surrounding this category as well. It is not simply open to every migrant or every temporary visa holder that was present in New Zealand when this category was announced. So we will talk about it a bit in detail later during this video. The other objective was also to attract and retain health workers and other highly skilled critical workers who were already here in New Zealand and were granted appropriate border exceptions by providing them a pathway, like I said, to live in New Zealand permanently. Right. Okay, so now let's jump on to the other critical area, which is the opening and closing dates of the 2021 one-off resident visa category. The 2021 resident visa category has already opened on the 1st of December 2021 last year for phase 1 applicants. We would like to sincerely apologize we could not make this video earlier as we were extremely tied up with various applications. But I mean, I think we are well in time for to release this video for our patrons who have been wondering about so many questions and so many queries that they have with regards to this category, and that is one of the reasons I have decided to make this video so as to address all such basic queries, and it will give you enough general knowledge about this category so that you are well informed about this 2021 resident visa application and its process. So that was for phase 1 applicants, and the 2021 resident visa category phase 2 will open on the 1st of March 2022. All the applicants cannot make their applications in one go, and for that purpose it has been divided into phase 1 and phase 2 category. So we will look into that later in this video. And you must also remember that the 2021 resident visa category is not going to remain open forever. It will close on the 31st of July 2022 this year for all applicants, whether you are from phase 1 or phase 2. And any applications submitted after the 31st of July 2022 will either not be accepted, or if it gets submitted, they will be refused. So this is very, very critical, and you must plan accordingly if you are wanting to submit your application under this category. Another important thing to remember is that the applications must be made using the approved online form, which has been provided on the Immigration New Zealand website. Apart from the applications from dependent children aged 25 years or older, for which there is a paper-based application form. So you need not worry about all the application forms and stuff. If we are assisting you, we will take care of submitting your application using our standard online portal with Immigration New Zealand, and whatever other paper-based forms are there, we will provide you. Okay, so now let's take a look at who are the phase 1 and phase 2 applicants. So phase 1 applicants are basically those applicants who on the 29th of September 2021 or before had made an application for residence under the skilled migrant category or a residence from work category which had not been determined, or in other words, which had not been finalized, or had a skilled migrant category expression of interest in the pool which included a dependent child aged 17 years or older as of the 29th of September 2021. So these are the applicants, potential applicants who will fall under the phase 1. Phase 2 applicants are all other applicants. So that is pretty straightforward to understand. And then coming to the next point, applications made between the 1st of December 2021 and the 28th of February 2022 inclusive must include the number of the application or expression of interest referenced above. So this has got something to do with the phase 1 applicants. Okay, another question that we get bombarded with is who is eligible to apply for the 2021 resident visa? So basically applicants who meet the requirements for holders of an eligible visa under the settled, skilled or scarce criteria of the 2021 resident visa category are as follows. So a person who has been granted a visa under the following immigration instructions may be eligible to apply for a 2021 resident visa. And these are people who are holders of the essential skills work visa or work to residence visa holders or the post-study open work visa holders. They could also be holders of the migrant exploitation and protection work visa, skilled migrant category job search related visas. If you are holding, you may be eligible as well. Religious workers related work visa holders, special work visa for victims of people trafficking could also be eligible. Special work visas for victims of family violence and silver phone practical experience work visa holders. So these are mainly the people who will be eligible to apply under this visa category. And last but not least, a person who was granted a work visa under Section 61 of the Immigration Act, provided they held a visa listed in the above list, which I just narrated, immediately prior to and in the 6 months before being granted the work visa under Section 61. So this is a little tricky area, but you can always contact us if you have any doubts. If you are holding a work visa that was granted to you under Section 61 of the Immigration Act. Coming to the next important point is that an applicant must have been in New Zealand on the 29th of September 2021, which basically means that if you were overseas and you were not able to return back to New Zealand on the 29th of September and resume your work, then the chances are that you may not be eligible for this visa. Next point is, despite what I narrated above, an applicant who was in Australia on the 29th of September 2021 and departed New Zealand for Australia between the 6th of April 2021 and the 23rd of July 2021 inclusive may be eligible to be considered for the 2021 resident visa. And there are heaps of other criterias which I will not go into as it is quite exhaustive, but you are always welcome to get in touch with us. But coming to the three main criterias of the 2021 resident visa, we will have a look at that now. So the first criteria being the settled criteria. Altogether, there are three criterias. First being the settled criteria, second being the skilled criteria, and the last one being the scarce criteria. So we will have a quick look at what is involved in the settled criteria. An applicant meets the settled criteria if they first arrived in New Zealand before or on the 29th of September 2018 and have been in New Zealand for at least 821 days between the 29th September 2018 until the 29th September 2021 inclusive. So this is pretty straightforward for you to understand, and obviously your travel related information will be on record with Immigration New Zealand, so they will be able to determine based on your travel in and out of New Zealand whether you fit into this criteria or not. If you have any doubts or if you need any clarification with regards to this, you are more than welcome to get in touch with us. Coming to the next criteria. So the settled criteria is pretty straightforward. However, there could be some tricky areas where you had left New Zealand and you could be falling short of a few days to few weeks to few months um, while you were out of New Zealand. So if you are in a situation like this, please do get in touch with us and we will do a thorough assessment for you uh, so as to determine whether you are falling under this category or the other categories that we are going to discuss about now. So coming to the next category criteria, sorry, is the skilled criteria. So under the skilled criteria, you must remember that an applicant meets the skilled criteria if they are in employment with a New Zealand employer, obviously, and drawing a remuneration of $27 or more per hour. This is the most important point under the skilled criteria. And an applicant will meet the skilled criteria on the 29th of September 2021 if they were on that date in employment, like I said earlier, and drawing a remuneration of $27 or more per hour and working in accordance with the conditions of their visa, which is quite obvious, or had made an application, variation of conditions, or request for reconsideration for an eligible visa that was subsequently granted, or in the case of conditions were varied, and had an offer of employment with remuneration at or above $27 per hour, as at the 29th of September 2021. So you must have heard this date again and again, the 29th of September 2021, and probably you will hear this a few more times in this video. So the critical date is the 29th of September 2021. Okay, coming to the next point is about the employment that you were doing on the 29th of September 2021 and after that, obviously. The employment must be full-time, and your employment agreement should demonstrate that you have been working on an average 30 hours per week or more. Um, so basically, your employment must be full-time. We have received a lot of queries from people who were working part-time, casually, even though they were drawing $27 per hour. So if you have been working casually, part-time, or less than 30 hours per week during that period, then you may not necessarily be eligible to apply under this category. But you can always, like I said earlier, you can contact us, and we will do an assessment for you so as to make sure that whether you are eligible or not. People who are working on, let's say, a contract for services, and such people could also be eligible for the 2021 resident visa, provided that they have had a consistent history of contract work and have had a current contract for the services. So this is again a tricky area. You can get in touch with us and we will have a look at your documents. Now coming to the next point. Now there are heaps of other scenarios when it comes to the skilled criteria. Like there may have been a change in your hourly rate. You might have changed employers. You might have moved from one company to another, and there are lots of variations, and all these criterias are quite exhaustive. So I may not be able to cover all this in this video. Otherwise, this video could just go on and on. So this is something we will assess on a case-to-case basis once you approach us, because all these scenarios may not necessarily apply to everybody, and we simply don't want to go through all this in details. Um, like I said, otherwise this video could go on forever. So let's look at the important points only. Again, then there is a list of documents, supporting documents that you will need to provide along with this application, and that list again is also exhaustive. So I will not be going through that list in this video, but if you decide to avail our immigration services, we will provide you with a checklist of documents that you can use as a reference document to organize all your supporting documents. So let's come to the next important aspect of this category, and that is the scarce criteria. Now, under the scarce criteria, the most important aspect here is that your designation or your role or the job that you are doing should be listed in the scarce list as uh, as has been announced by Immigration New Zealand. And again, this list is quite exhaustive, so we will not touch each and every position that appears in this list. And the important part here is that if you or an applicant meets the scarce criteria on the 29th of September, they should have been employed in one of the occupations, like I said earlier, which are listed on the Appendix 11 and working in accordance with the conditions of their visa, or had made an application, variation of conditions, or request for reconsideration for an eligible visa that was subsequently granted and had an offer of employment in one of the occupations listed at Appendix 11. So this again is a bit tricky, as you can figure out. And as I stated earlier, employment must always be full-time. So there are no ifs and buts with regards to the employment criteria. It has to be full-time, and it has to meet all the criterias, like the employment should be genuine, and it should be for a position that is paid by salary or wages, and or in terms of a contract of services for the contractual amount whatever has been agreed. The second important aspect here is that when it comes to the occupations listed in Appendix 11 of the list published by Immigration New Zealand, there are certain occupations which are required to hold occupational registration. So when I say registration, this has to be a full registration in New Zealand uh, if the employment is in an occupation that requires registration by law. So again, this list is exhaustive, so we will not go into the various occupations there, and we can discuss this on a case-to-case basis. So let's jump on to the next point, where an applicant who is working in an occupation that is indirectly related to the provision of health services or corporate functions such as human resources, office administration, or property maintenance will not meet the scarce criteria based on the occupation listed under personal carers and other critical health workers in Appendix 11. So this is again a very tricky area which many people could get caught into. So it is very important that you get a formal assessment done from a licensed immigration advisor to be absolutely sure that you are meeting the requirements of this criteria, and then you make the application so that all your time and money could not go down the drain if you later realize that you are not meeting the criteria and you have made an application just in the rush or through an advice given by a friend. Many a times applicants do their own research, take advice from their friends and relatives, and this could be very risky in terms of uh, making a residence visa application to Immigration New Zealand based on this um, not so sure information, because incomplete information could be dangerous for your whole application process. So let's look at the next point in this criteria. So under the scarce criteria, there could be a situation where you are employed full time, you are holding the appropriate designation, role which is falling under the scarce criteria. However, due to COVID-19 pandemic related lockdowns, um, your your company or your employer's work might be affected, or your offices could have closed down due to the lockdowns, and resulting in reduction in your weekly number of hours that you normally do. So in such scenarios, where you have been affected directly due to an order from the government, which is related to COVID-19 pandemic related lockdowns and related issues, you will have to produce necessary paperwork from your employer, which we will review and see whether if all those situations that you described to us that has resulted in a reduction of your weekly hours. In such scenarios, you may be eligible to apply under the resident visa 2021 category, but subject to our review and assessment of your documents and your unique situation that you have. So, like I have always said, the most crucial part of any visa application for New Zealand or any other countries that we deal with is the supporting documentation that you are required to provide along with your application. And this supporting documentation checklist is something that we will tailor make for you. Uh, we tailor make this for each individual applicant. You could be an individual applicant, you could be an applicant with a partner, with kids, your partner or kids could be overseas. So there are a lot of factors where the supporting checklist or the supporting documents will not necessarily be the same for everyone. There is no standard list that I can hand out and say it will apply to everybody. So for each and every applicant, we will provide you a specific checklist of documents that you will have to arrange for your visa application, and we will also guide you on how to arrange all the required documents. So yes, getting this list of supporting documents and arranging your supporting documents accordingly and lodging your application at the correct office and within the correct uh, span of time are all very, very critical. And we always highly recommend that you take the help of a licensed immigration advisor so that your process is taken care of from the very first day, and you are sure that you are on the right track. So this is what we specialize in, providing you with professional support and expert advice in getting your visa application sorted. So if you are planning or if you think you are eligible under the 2021 resident visa category, I would sincerely recommend that you please get in touch with us so that we can do a formal assessment for you to ensure that you are indeed eligible under this category. And we would be happy to assist you further with the application if you decide to go ahead. Our contact details are provided in the comment section of this video. Please, yes, subscribe to our channel. Um, Hit the like button if you have liked this video. Smash the bell icon so that you can get regular updates of various immigration related issues, news, and how to make different types of visa applications. Until then, goodbye, take care, see you next time.